Hi, everyone. I am so excited to share with you a beautiful, beautiful meditation teacher today. Her name is Jenny Dennis, and she's the owner of Meditation with Jenny, which is a wellness meditation class. And right now, Jenny focuses on working with young adults and children and working with them with meditation. She's offering classes on Zoom, but she's also located on Long Island in Massapequa. So thank you so much, Jenny, for being here. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is I feel very honored and I just love sharing this. So I'm so glad I get this opportunity to really speak about it and let people hear about it.
How did you get started with I don't know anyone around here in Maryland who is working with children in meditation. How did you get started on that journey or feel drawn about to that?
Right. Well, I originally started with yoga. I started doing yoga and I have always, my mind's been always all over the place. Even when I was younger, I couldn't just sit and really focus on things. And when I did yoga, at the end, they have the Shavasana, which is where you lay down. And for some reason, it just brought such peace to me. I could sit and I was like, I never wanted it to end. And then in the middle of that, I actually had one of my best friends, I had lost her and she was like a sister. And I actually, fell into a very big depression. And it was like I was kind of losing my way. And then one of my friends, my mentors, Danielle Anatra, she has psychic development classes. And I was talking to her and I was like, I'm not so much like a medium, but, I felt lost. And she was like, just take it. She's like, take the classes. The best thing I have ever done in my life. It changed me. It was so transformative. Meditation, I automatically fell in love with. It helped me really look so much within and really help things that I didn't even know that was going to help me. And really, it's my saving grace. And I tell everyone, meditate. It's so just helpful in healing things inside you and really finding your way. And I just wanted to share it with everybody.
And Danielle Anatra is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
just take a minute there. She is
Yeah.
amazing and a phenomenal teacher,
Yeah.
um, and friend as well. But for me as well, that meditation has been it. Like it has.
Yes.
That's what people say. Like, how do you get better in touch with your intuition? How do you connect better with the spirit world? How do you connect better with yourself? And I'm like, meditation, meditation, meditation. It is
Yes.
everything that I was running away from personally. Like as soon as I
Hmm.
sat, it was like, okay, here it is. And I could actually just deal with it and sit with myself, which is
Yeah.
as busy people, like we're running from
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of that. So it's just sitting is
Hmm.
truly was one of the most life-changing things that
Yeah.
yeah. So then how did you get involved in children though, working with children?
So I originally, my nieces and nephews, I know stuff that, personally I've gone through and I've seen what they've gone through and even my friend's daughter, what she was going through. And I've always talked to them about stuff like this. And I've always tried to help them. And I always look back and was like, if I had this tool growing up, if I had this, I felt like it could have helped me so much. It's very hard for me to express myself. I'm very closed off and I'm very, when things go wrong, I just push it aside and I keep going and I keep going. And a lot's learned from when you're younger. So you carry that on to being an adult. And I'm like, for me to really go through this process of healing, I would look back and I was like, if I had this when I was younger, the possibilities would have been endless. It would have helped me channel so many things inside that I didn't even understand and I didn't even know what was going on. And I just want to give these kids these tools and to help them and let them see there are other ways. You don't have to hold on to anger. You don't have to, let your life bring you down. You can use it and change it and make it your power and actually use it for you instead of against you.
Wow, that is big.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know my son even has anxiety,
Yeah.
and I've always struggled with anxiety all my life. And
Yeah.
I I wish there was someone like you to
Oh,
have helped me through
hmm.
that too. And the
Yeah.
fact that you're focusing on young adults and kids are just so needed, that you see so many kids with, they're not given tools
No,
until
not
like
at
we're
all.
older, and then it's acceptable to do yoga or
Yes.
meditation or here's these
Yeah.
other things. But what about when you're a kid, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
This is a great tool. So what ages do you usually see in your class right now as you're focusing on the younger adults?
So I actually started with like kindergarten, like 6 and up, but then I actually had younger kids, which Danielle's daughter was when one, and then I had another girl, her daughter was the same age, and they had their brothers in class and wanted to join. They took it so I was surprised how well they all took it so phenomenally, and they just gravitated towards it, and it's like they really wanted to do it, and I thought, like, their kids, the most I'm gonna meditate is a minute and just work on everything else. No, they were like I would give them the option, "How long do you wanna meditate today?" And they would say, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and they did it, and they sat, and they loved it, and then they actually started using it outside of class, and they started using it when things were happening, and their parents were just telling me because they started watching them and started becoming aware of what they were doing. And even my nephew, he's 4. I've been meditating with him since he was a baby because I heard like when babies cry, you put on the meditation music. So anytime he was in the car, I would just start going, and he would repeat me. And he just started repeating me. So my sister says when he gets in trouble, she notices he'll go in the corner and he'll just start meditating for a little bit. Yeah, and even in their preschools, they started doing it. So even though I do work with kids from like, 5 and up, I am starting to do classes younger for not as long, but I am starting to do younger kids because they are gravitating towards it.
So then what have you seen? Like, just like you said, where,
Right.
he would go in the corner and just say,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
what type of progress have you seen or noticed in children as you've been working with them?
So I had one kid, his mother was telling me that, when he gets angry, he just like really truly explodes. And she noticed he started taking himself away from the situation. He started bringing himself and breathing and becoming aware and then going back and really expressing himself when he couldn't do it before. And then I had other, parents saying in the car when they would go places, it's like they wanted to. They wanted to breathe and they wanted to sit and they wanted to really calm themselves down. So I thought that was like really phenomenal. And even, I have older nieces where they started writing and journaling to help really express what's in them that they couldn't get out. And I told them, just no one has to see it. Nobody has to know. It's your healing tool, and just sit there and write and just really, really like let it go. And to see them find a way to express themselves and how to really say what they're feeling, because we don't even know sometimes what we're feeling. We just know we're angry. So for them, it must be even more frustrating. So for them to be able to verbalize that or express it or find a way to express it, it really heals so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you're on to something here. Like,
Oh,
wow, that's amazing that you're giving them, and it's not even, and it's meditation, but in different ways, it sounds
yes.
like they're using
Yes.
it in different ways. So
Hmm.
can I ask, what is meditation, I guess, for people who may not know? I guess what's the
Right.
basis of it here? Well,
Right.
how would you explain meditation? Is it the normal sitting there
Right. So
quiet?
most people think that's really it is quiet in the mind, but most people think it is you just sit and you and that's what it is. And it's really not. It's anything you enjoy, anything that calms yourself, calms your mind, that you lose yourself. I sit in the shower sometimes and meditate. I drive and just really let go. It just is that calming of the mind and learning to sit within. It's like learning to sit when the chaos and the storm is all around you and learning how not to let it affect you. And when it does, giving you a tool to breathe, to calm yourself, to bring yourself back and bring you right in the middle to have that, calmness and surrounded in you. And it just helps you really go through life and deal with a lot of things that are happening to you.
Right. And for
Yes.
kids, so the whole purpose of this holiday sharing is to help
Yes.
people who are grieving or who are struggling through the holidays, whether it's anxiety or just terrible
Right.
grief and they're missing their loved
Right.
ones. Children are too, though. There are children
Yes.
who are grieving and just like you said, who don't have the words to
Hmm.
express it or to understand what's going on. So to help give them that tool is beautiful. What kinds of tools can you share, whether it's for a child or for adult, as far as like basic meditation
Right.
tools?
It's giving yourself that time. You deserve that time, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, setting it aside, whether it's you wake up in the morning. They have a tool called morning pages where you first thing you do is write. Before you even get out of the bed, you just sit with the journal and you just write because that's when you're the most aware because you are just waking up, and just really expressing it for kids, teaching them in a way like, they understand anger, they understand and they know it, but they can't express it. So to say, okay, if you were angry and you were a color, what color would you be? And say they would say red. Okay, when you feel that, you see red. So when you're happy, what color would you think of? Say they would say yellow. Okay, so when you see the red, picture the yellow coming down around and common, and giving them a way to speak about it and express it in a way they can understand, and really letting them be proactive, letting them kind of guide you and tell you that this is how I feel, that if I'm like this can help me, so, and then sitting with them and meditating with them and breathing with them and just letting the music go and letting them give them something to write. Or I do, like, I had this one project where it said I am in the middle, and then just all things about themselves, how they felt about themselves and what they felt, to see the goodness in them. And it's just these little tools that helps build their confidence and really can get out, especially when we're all stuck here, with everything that's going on. And they, more than anything, have stresses we will never understand, we will never go through. So it's like kind of letting them guide us and helping them and
Wow.
teaching them what to do.
Right. That
Yeah,
makes sense. So like, let me ask though, let's be
yeah,
real
yeah,
for a
yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
How long, are their attention spans in this class?
Yeah.
How long do you usually meditate with them for?
So the meditation itself, the
Yeah.
longest we did was 10 minutes. But it's more than just meditation. We'll sit, we'll talk. How was your day? Is there anything you want to share? I'll let them talk to each other and let them say if they know something. Sometimes they turn around and we'll have a conversation with each other and just help them. I can do a half an hour class. I can do an hour class. Most is like an hour for the younger kids, because I know they're just like, all over. I had, during, the whole pandemic when we were in the house, I would meditate with my sister and my nephews. And my nephew, she closed it, he would run around, and then he sat and he started copying me. Within 10 minutes, he was asleep. She said, and he wasn't sleeping, he just like passed out. So really just letting it guide. The most I would do is an hour, but letting it guide into what they need for themselves,
Right.
and just not setting that limitations for them. But the whole meditation itself, I would never really do for young kids more than 10 minutes.
Right.
You know?
And I think like 10 minutes is beautiful, even
Yeah.
for an adult. Like if you could
Yes.
set 10 minutes aside for yourself, like you
Yes.
said, meditate in the shower,
Yeah.
meditate, I have people like in my readings, I have their loved ones step forward and be like, it's easiest to connect with you while you're gardening or while you're writing or while you're
Yes.
driving, because your mind is clear and that is their form of meditation. So it doesn't just have to be sitting there going, but it does help to do those things,
Yeah.
especially when you don't want to do it. Like I didn't want to do it. And I
Yeah.
sat and you're able to feel what you have been avoiding and just feel it. And then you can release that. When
Yes.
you keep running, the
Yeah.
feelings build up.
Yeah, it's true. And so many say they're like, when your thoughts go crazy and they're like, I can't stop thinking. But don't stop thinking. When you're sitting there, let it there's a reason why it's in there. There's a reason why it's coming to you. See it, understand it, say, okay, thank you. Now push it aside, and either like you could focus like this on your fingers, focus on the music, but let it, allow it to come. Like, people put so much pressure on themselves, like, oh, I can't meditate, I don't meditate, I can't do it. But it's a practice, and it's a practice because it's ever growing. We're always growing and we're transforming. And there are some days I could sit for just, I feel like forever. And there are other days I'm like, this, I can't do this. I
Me
can't do this.
too.
But
Me
yeah.
too.
But
Yes.
I give that to myself, and you have to honor yourself and you have to be easy on yourself, because we are the most hardest on ourselves. And we're the ones we need to be the kindest to, because that is where the biggest growth and the transformation comes from.
Wow,
You
that
know?
is true. I love that. Even just sitting, that this is the time for me. And even
Yes.
if your mind is going crazy,
Mm-hmm.
or, even if you feel like fidgety, just take that time, that 5 minutes for yourself.
Yes.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
just going to give it, I'm going to show up for myself today and do that five
Yes.
minutes. That's
Yes.
big. And it really helps. It is a healing tool. It
Mm-hmm.
truly is, especially if you're grieving, especially if you're feeling anxiety. You
Yeah.
think when you're feeling anxiety, that's the last thing that you want to do is sit with that. But that's
Mm-hmm.
actually how it is so helpful, and
It,
especially for children too.
Yeah, it is. It's true. I have another mentor, Brad Fusensky. He really helped me go within. He believes in a lot of inner work. At first, that was everything. I was like, no, 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 I'm good, I don't need. And he's like, you gotta let go. But everything is always at your time, always at your process. And they would sit, and then one day it was like the floodgates opened. It was like everything came out, and where I would always push that aside, I realized that's what I needed. I needed to really let it go because, with so many losses and things happening and all these things going on, it's very easy for us to suppress it and to push it down. But that's where the anxiety comes from, and that's where the anger and the stress is. And then we just allow it to build on top of each other. But it's like if we stop and honor ourselves and say it's okay, it's okay for everything not to be okay, it's okay for me to feel this way. I'm going to honor it, I'm going to process it, I'm going to sit with it, but I'm also going to release it, and I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to move forward. It's like a weight is just lifted off of you. That's so phenomenal and so amazing. And it's like you're light again, and it's like you're free, and it also opens you to a whole new world, to where you move forward, and these things that you never thought could happen would just start coming to you, and wow, this is amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yeah.
that's why meditation is probably one of the greatest healing tools that can be
Yes.
offered here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so much focused on, and like you said, there's a lot of misconceptions about you having your mind having to be quiet,
Yes.
but that's not true. That's not what
No.
it is. And it's not always, like, you have to kind of push yourself. And sometimes on the days that I notice I don't want to meditate is the days where I have to be meditating.
Yes. Yes. a
You know what I mean?
hundred percent. Yeah.
So and meditate even a little more than
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
because I'm struggling with it or I don't want to sit. And actually, it is the biggest refresher for me. So when I'm like so tired or I'm about to have a reading and my energy's low and I 'cause
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sleep much, if I meditate for 20 minutes, for me, it feels like I just took a nap. I have the
Yeah.
energy that comes back.
Yeah,
It,
it's so true. Like the meditation, it's like when I meditate, like I do like I go to my meditation classes. I go like I personally go to other classes, but once a week, faithfully. It is the only thing I have stuck with my whole entire life, faithfully. I come home, I'm like because I feel so good. It's just this whole, it's just the sitting, and it is allowing yourself, and it's giving yourself. And on days when I can't meditate or I do feel myself, I write, I journal, and I just I'm very uncensored because I know it's just me. I'm not worried about what I write. I'm not worried about the points, the dots, nothing, the spelling. I just write. And when I go back and I look, I'm like, I amaze myself sometimes. Like, I can't believe this was inside of me. But it's that meditation, it's that healing. Meditation, really, they do studies on this, and it helps with stress, it helps with anxiety, it helps with blood pressure, it helps with really healing yourself, and so many things. It rewires your brain inside, and they could show how it helps. It slows with the aging process, and it does so many beneficial things that we sometimes are so unaware of, that it's so much more than like you said, just sitting there. And it really is good. It's amazing.
A lot of people, who are grieving are wanting to feel their loved ones. And sometimes when
Yes.
you're going, that's actually when you can't feel them. Your mind is so busy. That's why often
Yes.
our loved ones will come to us in our dreams or at
Hmm.
nighttime because we're slowed down. But that's the same thing with meditation. You quiet your mind and you're able to feel and hear and know and see much clearer. And that's for me in communicating
Hmm.
with the other side as well. I
Yeah.
quiet my mind, my busyness, my busy mind, so that I
Hmm.
can better be in touch with my intuition and hear guidance clear. And then also with, other loved ones as well. So it's such a great tool for those who are looking to connect better with their loved ones.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. It's like they say, it's like a prayer. It's like a conversation, but we're not speaking. Like when we're constantly talking, talking, talking. We're not hearing. But when you sit and you just clear your mind and you listen, it is, you get, these messages, you hear your intuition more, you hear things from your loved ones. And it's just like you listen to, God, source, universe, you hear it. And it's so important for us to hear it and to really calm down and just not always like having to speak and really, if we want answers, the answers are within us. We have the answers, but it's trusting in us and trusting and listening to our intuition. And meditation does, it really is like the greatest tool for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So what kind of tips can you give someone who is new to this, who hasn't ever tried meditation, whether they want to do it with their children or whether they want to try it themselves? What
hmm
kind of basic tools can you share that'll be helpful for someone just starting?
So when you first start meditating, I give yourself, first of all, be kind to yourself. There's no wrong or right way to do it. If you want to sit down, if you want to lay down, if you want to walk and just listen to the music, if you're, you take public transportation, put the music in your ear. Whatever you have to do, hear that music and just be. Just let whatever comes to you come to you, whatever go. If you want to write down what you have to write down, write it down. Don't look at it, just write it. You can come back to it later. If you're going to meditate with your kids, do it as a family. I truly suggest doing it as a family. And if they're, talking or that, let them. You don't have to say, nope, you have to sit still, because maybe you don't. You just sit there and do it, and then eventually they'll sit with you and they'll see it and they'll want to do it. And let them speak, let them, ask them, how is your meditation, what did you see, what it's never silly and it's never nothing. Just let them come out and let them say what they have to say, and maybe find a way to let them lead the meditation and say, okay, next time I want you to start the meditation. And it's just to begin it, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or however long, you feel necessary. It's just really starting the process and then becoming aware of how you feel, what you see, what your thoughts are, what comes to you, and how you are as you progress forward from it, and just allow yourself that.
And what do you mean by having them begin it? What do you mean,
So
like picking the music or certain things that are said in the beginning?
So I know my nephew, when he does it, they do a little guided. So he'll hold his hands like this and he'll go breathe in and he'll hold his head up and they go breathe out. And you picture white clouds coming down and you feel peaceful and you feel calm. And you take another deep breath in and another deep breath out, and just allowing them to kind of speak their way through it. And then just at the end, just saying, namaste, thank you, and just letting go. And that is like a perfect way where it's not, there are, ways you can go on the internet. They have YouTube, they have, meditation for kids, where it gives you like little things that you can say that they can say with you, and just little mantras. Like if they can't sit, if you take your hands and go, peace begins with me, and just have them say that until they get quieter and quieter. It's always for them to feel like they are a part of it, and they are really, building their confidence for it.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that I hear who talk about meditation and they're like, I fall asleep every time.
Yeah.
What would you say to them? Or, I did that
uh-huh.
too in the beginning.
Yeah.
I would fall asleep all the time, every time I meditate. Why do you fall asleep during it? And,
Uh-huh.
is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Fall asleep. Then that's what you need to do. Your body needs rest. You got to listen to your body. There was a time I was in class and I was like, "Did I just snore?" I'm like, "I think I fell asleep." You need that for yourself. So some people, it's the only time they can relax. So they become so relaxed that they end up do falling asleep, and maybe that's just what you need. So if you can't sleep, they say meditate. It helps with sleeping. Maybe that's what you should do. And if you fall asleep, say, "Oh, thank God I needed that."
Right. And like you said,
Yes.
it goes into being gentle with yourself. Stop putting the
Yes,
pressure on
yes.
yourself. Whatever it is, and it's
hmm
okay. Whatever your
Yeah,
body needs in that moment or your mind is what will
yes,
happen.
yes.
So I love that. Yes. So are there any, things that you can share as far as like someone else that you've seen in your class that, has really, it's been life-changing for just so I know you
So I actually work with it was a friend, she's older and not older than me, but she's like around my age, and we started working and we always just do meditation. And I had learned, so I kind of used it in the class to really look at who you are, who are you. And we know so much of who we are, but we define ourselves as, I'm a mother, a father, a sister, a daughter, or this or that, my job, my career, where I live, but that's not who we are. It's really to look inside and really see who you are. I'm a healer, I'm a soul, I'm light, I'm love, I'm compassion. And you start to see yourself as others see you. And it does, it rewires you. And with working with her, and getting to the end of it, she had told me, she's like, I always support you. And she was like, I love taking the classes. She's like, but this class has changed me so much. She's like, I have looked at myself in ways, she's like, I didn't think I could. And she's like, it opened me into such a new direction that it actually allowed her to take more chances and to go after a job she wanted and to really just walk into her own and see who she is and find that power. And I was just like, wow, like it was such an amazing thing, but I know what it did for me. So, in taking that and seeing that, I was like, wow, yes. I was like, yes. I said, I love it. I said, that's so good.
Yeah, to be able to give that gift to someone else,
Yes.
allow
Hmm.
them to see themselves in the way that other people do, or
Yeah,
things
yeah,
other than just what society says is acceptable or these labels
yes.
that we label ourselves with. That is
Mhm.
the greatest gift that you can give someone. So
Yeah,
thank you so much for
yeah.
sharing these tools and
Aw,
sharing your story and sharing this with especially the younger generation, which I think is groundbreaking breaking. I think it's big. I think it's really, really exciting and where I hope to see things kind of gravitate towards in the future as well. So Jenny, where can people find you, or how can they sign up for your classes?
so I have a website. It's called meditationwithjenny.com. You can find me on there. You can email me at jennymarie29msn.com. I also have a Facebook page, Meditation with Jenny, and an Instagram page. It's Meditation with Jenny 10. So I'm going to begin classes after the holidays. I was going to start before, but I'm actually, because, everything that's going on right now. So I'm going to, right after Christmas, I'm going to start kids classes. They're going to be more at night, virtual. I'm doing everything online. So anybody anywhere really can join. I'm going to break them all up into age groups and really begin that way. And then just, I have adult classes. I'm doing 6-week programs, and that's how I'm really going to start. I'll have all the information out. I started putting stuff out. So once I solidify a date, I'm going to put it out there. Then you can email me, you can contact me, through Facebook Messenger, and just set up a class. Even if you just want to do a one-on-one session, just to find out what it's about. My first initial kid classes will be free, the first class, because I want parents to experience it. I want them to really sit and see, if it is their kids and it is what they want, and to give them just that guidance of just the understanding of it, and working with the parents hands in hand.
Oh, perfect. Oh, thank you
Hmm.
so much, Jenny. Thank you.
Thank you.